But I mean, I can't. Oh, okay. We're getting
Oh,
someone. We're getting
okay.
a different set. Different set.
Different. Okay, never mind. Okay, so
That set
American
is
Weeaboo.
cute, so we will
Mhm.
see that a little bit later. But American Weeaboo and MNI are the ones taking the stage.
All right, so this is actually pretty interesting. I did recently commentate a set for American Weeaboo back during Scarlet Classic. It was not for bracket; it was for the crew battles actually.
Oh,
But it's going to be interesting to see him here yet again versus MNI. The I believe when I watched American Weeaboo before they went Incineroar, but we'll see if they mix it up today.
yeah. I know MNI is classic and Ike, classically and Ike playing Ike main, but of course everyone's kind of in this experimentation type phase in when it comes to Smash Ultimate and its current landscape and metagame and who people want to play and where and why and when. Uh, but we're going to be seeing both players lock in their characters right here. Round 2, we are officially in now. Winner of this will play presumably the top seed Phantom here tonight. So got a lot going on for 16 and 17. You can see their seeds down below. Greninja and Ike locked in and ready to go.
Alrighty, so it looks like American Weeaboo's going with a different Pokemon pick today, but it's definitely going to be an explosive match versus Ike. Ike being a significantly slower character, and that's what places him at the bottom of a lot of tier lists. However, with a character such as Greninja, he has a lot of super precise inputs if you want to be able to follow through with a lot of the combos, or his ladder combos, for instance, for which he is most known as a good way for him to rack up damage. But it looks like these two are just playing in neutral right now, getting started. Of course, American Weeaboo getting some quick damage here, but with a character like Ike, you don't really need such large combos in order to make up damage. You can just get a couple of hits, and then you're back to even percentages.
Yeah, Ike is. This matchup in general is just going to purely come down to raw specific spacing and little differences like a jump forward versus a neutral jump on a nair for MNI could be the difference in taking a stock and losing a stock. Meanwhile, for American Weeaboo, you have to start playing these, especially at 144%, you have to start playing these like stray hit commitment game, which is way harder to do because of exactly that. Greninja's primary killing aerial, that forward air, is really easy to see, react to, and even parry on reaction. And that's able to get MNI the first stock. Not too far because of Greninja's solid confirm game. You still have those down tilt fairs, those dash attack setups in those extreme percentages. But if you're not able to find the early confirms, then suddenly Ike is going to find plenty of up airs and a bevy of nairs in order to keep this game just as even as it is. Check out the spacing from MNI, retreating and then holding the ground in order to find the grab. Nice stuff from MNI thus far.
Absolutely great stuff from MNI, the way that he has been able to manage his spacing, just as you were saying earlier, spacing being such a pivotal point of this gameplay, especially for a character such as Ike versus Greninja. And it's going to be awesome to see the way that American Weeaboo maybe further adapts in order to take more advantages. However, it looks like these two are still being generally pretty respectful of each other's spacing, knowing what the other character is capable of, and finding their proper openings, it looks like. Definitely not a spot where you want to be if you are off stage versus Ike, because it can lead to having your stock taken at center stage.
Yeah, huge back air pickup. And MNI on the board with a couple of just solid callouts, right? It was the parry on the forward air the first time. It was the jump out of shield the second time. Having it really locked in on specific types of movement and offense that American Weeaboo wants to put in, and just purely taking advantage of Ike's main calling card. That stray hit kill power can be the difference in how you play out games, regardless of how it shapes up on paper. A nice block string, though. If you're not parrying that forward air, you don't get a punish. So American Weeaboo completes the block string, confirms off that down tilt yet again, and now gets a chance to try and even up this game. The damage has been aplenty, especially with these landing catches on the up tilts, the dash attacks finally confirming into a couple up airs. But it's damage is one thing, taking stocks early is another, and so far AmericanWeeaboo has been behind on both stocks of this game, yet leading the percent here.
Absolutely. I definitely think that MNI has been doing a good job of recovering sort of lower than I would expect. It's definitely not a good idea to recover higher versus a character such as Greninja who has such a strong up air game. But it's partially maybe why I haven't seen AmericanWeeaboo utilize any sort of edge guarding maneuvers. But that is going to be the first game actually going to MNI.
Yeah, I can 100% agree why MNI isn't like pressuring ledge or even just like pressuring off stage. Like typically drop zone fair can be a really solid like last stock type of opportunity you go for, especially because Greninja's Hydro Pump and for even Shadow Sneak don't really have good ways to dissuade people from edge guarding him. It's mostly just based on his movement and jump height being so good. But it's not worth it as Ike, because if you miss, suddenly your Aether and Quick Draw are both susceptible to Hydro Pump, as well as Water Shuriken and a million other things to stop you from recovering and a million ways to take chip damage. So instead, trying to play the timing game and trying to play the spacing game against a character who has to put his body at risk if he's going to attack you is always going to be the benefit. Cheeky round start, sure, quick draw, run off the platform, see how it goes, but we're jumping back to ledge, only 25%, not too bad whatsoever, especially since it's a simple two-piece, gonna get you right back in this game, trying to hold center, but AmericanWeeaboo is focused on trying to cut down MNI before he's able to wall up.
Now, actually, so despite the parry that AmericanWeeaboo was able to make versus MNI, I did appreciate to see MNI coming out swinging that very first second of the game, and that's not something that you typically see from a slower character. However, it is a good way to set your opponent on edge and sort of rack up some damage pretty quickly, as MNI is demonstrating.
If there's anything I'd like to... Okay, you know what? I was just about to say it. Literally, the words were on my tongue. I want to see these Greninja back airs. I mean, we're seeing so much from AmericanWeeaboo when it comes to like Nair confirms and trying to set up for forward airs and trying to set up for up airs, but the way to beat characters like Ike or any character that is pretty... that's kind of a walking target in midair, especially with how fast Greninja can be, is back air. Greninja back air is such a powerful confirm tool that you can confirm into just off of just about anything. And the fact that it's now on the arsenal and it's a whole lot quicker, it changes the timings on some of the parries that we've been seeing MNI try to put out. But he's able to catch the landing all the same with that forward tilt. 98%, still a hefty lead for AmericanWeeaboo, but MNI can bring this back with just a couple swings, confirming into up airs big, but it doesn't commit to trying to go for the juggle, instead trying to play safe as possible and getting back to center.
Absolutely. Ubel, I think you were right on the money right there about AmericanWeeaboo's one of his biggest tools in his arsenal being back air. It's not something that we were seeing before, but I do really appreciate to see the adaptation now from AmericanWeeaboo in Game 2 compared to Game 1, where he seemed a lot more passive compared to MNI, who was going for the but that Shadow Sneak could have been something special. Unfortunately, AmericanWeeaboo is going to lose the stock for that.
Okay, did he throw? Vote now on your phones. Did he throw? Because that was a huge gambit, a huge risk, and it did not pay off. And Ike is nowhere near like kill percent at these points. You do have to start working for your stock and treating it like an even game. MNI trying to take advantage of some of the momentum a little bit, but no dice. Finds the quick draw though. We're seeing rising nairs, rising fairs. Looks for the grab, no dice. Oh, it's getting spooky though, bro, because MNI is swinging for the fences and AmericanWeeaboo is kind of on the back foot.
Oh, but it looks like AmericanWeeaboo is able to send MNI off stage exactly where he wants him. Not able to do something about it, though, as MNI is finding these aggressive options against AmericanWeeaboo and evening up the percentages. It is not looking good, and there is not the stock just yet. However, MNI wanting to find it, finding himself in disadvantage though. American Weeaboo finding his aggressive option and bringing us now to game 3 though. What a comeback from such a scary situation.
Oh man, he almost threw. If you voted 2 on your phones now for not throwing, you do win. Because holy, he was able to clutch that out in just the nick of time of finding that same confirm for a few times in games 1 and 2. Just you see MNI holding shield in the corner, you go in with a forward air, and then immediately down tilt after to keep yourself safe. And fortunately for him, MNI keeps trying to aim for parries on these forward airs to try and find the big punish and trying to find a reversal out of the corner. As good as that option is, if you miss, you do leave yourself open to just about any starter, and Greninja down tilt's a pretty good one.
Absolutely. However, we are starting right now on Hollow Bastion. It looks like these two are still not going for the aggressive options that we saw in game 1. This being game 3. Of course, they have to be extremely careful right now with how they play. However, it looks like MNI is going to be the one who is going to find some early stray hits.
He wants to get the Hydro Pump edge guard where you just push Ike a little too far. It's a good setup, especially if you see MNI go for any of these high ethers. Oh, and an excellent air dodge read. Cutting things down, gets the grab, just going for down throw. Greninja has no confirms off throws, but has plenty of time to set up that forward air on the get up attack. Excellently spaced from American Weeaboo, who's starting to find that flow state that he was in at the start of game 2. Just solid spacing and a swarming level of horizontal traps that now leads MNI to try and avoid DIing off stage, which gets you those easier up airs. Nice little blend of offense.
And something that I especially love to see is when a player is able to transfer some of that energy that they had from the past match, and the good energy, I mean, and being able to bring it into the last game. So to see the clutch up factor from American Weeaboo right now is excellent.
Yeah, still hunting for jumps, and I 100% agree, Pro. Like, if you're able to carry things over from game 1 or game 2 to game 3 especially, and just have that positive momentum going, as whether it's earned or not, like that is instrumental to finding that solid game state in your gameplay and allowing it to speak for itself wholesale. Because now you're not thinking about which version you should cover, which option you should cover. You're just kind of operating on that level of instinct. And at 144%, it's a little bit tough here because now you're kind of just pressing the forward air and the back air button, hoping that something connects. But hey, any damage at this point is good damage in order to set up for an up or forward throw kill throw, or just like any stray hit.
Exactly. I do think that the aggressiveness that we saw from MNI in the first couple of games is not serving him so well here, as American Weeaboo has significantly improved his spacing in order to find his own openings, utilizing some of the best tools that Greninja has at his disposal. Able to make it back to ledge, and now MNI still able to find some of his damage, but knowing that he is in... Oh man, but that up air is going to take yet another stock right now for MNI. American Weeaboo, I'm sorry, man. Gonna have to find a lead again, but going to take it with that nair, actually.
Yeah, that was the perfect time to hit the super late hit nair confirming it up air at maximum rage, and now at 46%, MNI kind of showcasing that, hey, if American Weeaboo is going to try and like move everything around and hunt for stray hits, I'm just going to cover that space with hitboxes and force him to interact with it. Interact with it, he does with that up throw into up air, nothing crazy, starting to chip away with back airs and resetting to neutral. But importantly for MNI, as long as he has space to retreat to, he knows that American Weeaboo's trying to cut him down, and he can cover that space with a giant nair. Look at these jump backs again, almost finding the pickup off the down tilt.
Absolutely. Here's American Weeaboo finding anything that he possibly can, but knowing that he is at a dangerous percentage to be at versus a character such as Ike. MNI finding himself off stage, not going to be susceptible to the edgeguard today. However, American Weeaboo is going to do his best to find his openings, make his money from this.
Oh,
American
yeah.
Weeaboo
No
sending
jump.
him yet again off stage. Oh, but MNI able to come back, utilizing the up B right there to stall for some time and creating a giant hitbox for American Weeaboo to avoid. I was looking for the punish.
I'm looking for any like meaningful hit, and that forward air certainly is one. Not going to close out the stock, but American Weeaboo is fiending for these jump callouts. We're seeing rising flares, rising nairs, and the falling nair mix-up finds its mark. Maybe a missed parry, maybe a misinput. All the same, the shield was dropped, and American Weeaboo found that nair and found the win just in the nick of time. Man, those were three tight games.
They were, absolutely, Ubo, and you can see here MNI shaking his head in maybe not disbelief, but definitely you can see the face of people who had a good game and who enjoyed it. But definitely not a fun way to go out like that after 3 games. However, it was great to see the adaptations from American Weeaboo, especially MNI as well, but American Weeaboo, I think, was able to best utilize his character's tools at his disposal. Some of what I think it was just knowledge of what his character is able to do. And of course, when you're a character such as Ike, you do have to rely on those stray hits in order to rack up damage, versus American Weeaboo was significantly better game 3 compared to even game 2 and game 1 with his punish game. So it was amazing to see, actually.
Yeah, but all the same, I really feel like M&I played a better neutral when it came to specifically the type of neutral that you see played across all fighting games. Like, oh, I'm managing my space, I'm trying to play out of the corner with patience, I'm trying to maintain my zones, like jump backs, overshoots, poking. All of that seemed to really favor M&I, but where American Weeaboo really found the difference was in those extra the extra utility of the character having those extra tools, having the insane jump height, having those frame traps and air dodge traps online, uh, knowing where to poke out in specifically when it comes to like back air off stage, or even just simply threaten the idea of hydro pump edge guards, making M&I not be able to feel comfortable playing off stage in a way that he would normally. Like, those types of changes can make a huge difference, and whether those be knowledge checks or just simply like execution and flexing your own ability to play your character, and having a character with a lot more brevity of options like that, it transformed how MNI and American Weeaboo had to play around each other, and the Frog found its victory in the end.
You're absolutely correct. I do think that MNI played an excellent game, especially his neutral was very on point. However, I do think maybe at the end of the day, it was sort of a testament to the tools of both characters, and
Agree.
I think you could definitely see why a character such as Ike is placed so low on a lot of matchup charts, unfortunately.
It's tough.
A character like Greninja is not an easy character to operate, and Ike definitely isn't either, especially when you find yourself